All right, everyone, I just wanted to share with you a residential heat pump that I installed here in my house. So I don't normally do residential work, but I needed to get an air conditioner installed, and so I called the wholesaler up and I asked them for the cheapest 2-ton air conditioner that I could buy, and this is what I got. It's quite a advanced inverter-based heat pump made by York, and from what I understand, it was actually a collaboration with Hisense out of China. So this unit's actually been manufactured in China and was about $1,800 Canadian. But yeah, quite an advanced system. You can see we have quite a few terminals hooked up. The unit has a, obviously reversing valve for the heat pump. This is the compressor enable Y terminal. It is controlling the heat, the auxiliary heat inside of the air handler for defrost mode, and then we've also got this S1 terminal which controls the indoor fan speed. So based on the discharge pressure when you're in heating mode, it'll ramp the fan up and down based on what the discharge temp's doing on the unit. So yeah, quite an advanced system. You can see it just ramped up a little bit more there. And also 410A, which is nice. In Canada right now, 454B is unavailable, so if you put a 454B split system in and you need extra refrigerant, it's not available right now, so that's kind of a pain. But you can see here our discharge pressure is just over 85 Fahrenheit, 250 psi, which gives us a pretty low discharge temp coming off of the furnace to heat the house, which in these situations where it's not too cold out, yeah, that's perfectly fine, and it's definitely going to create a lot of comfort because you won't have the gas package kicking on and providing that heat right away, and you feel the temperature fluctuations that way. This thing is very precise in maintaining temperature. So the only downside is when you deal with the heat pump, the colder it gets, the less heat you're going to get out of it. So there is a point where you're definitely going to want it to change over to strictly just the gas heating package, because the defrost is just basically pulling heat out of your envelope to defrost, and it becomes less and less efficient at pumping the heat outside, inside, the colder it gets. But in this environment, very effective and very comfortable. Another thing to notice is it's quite humid out right now, so we're getting some condensate on the outdoor coil, and that latent heat that we're pulling out of the air is definitely helping that outdoor coil temperature stay nice and high because of that latent heat coming out of the air. So this is the ideal situation. Doesn't happen very often in Alberta, but when I saw the weather forecast, I was like, oh, I got to give this thing a shot and see what it's all about. But yeah, definitely the heating mode is worth it for these scenarios that happen not super often in Alberta, but like BC on the coast, this is a regular occurrence for them. You can see it just ramped up a bit more. So yeah, very advanced algorithm that's happening inside there, where we only have one stage of heating and cooling, so it's got to kind of understand the environment. And then you can see we're going over 60 hertz. It's kind of unique. 65 hertz is the maximum frequency on the compressor, so it gives them a little bit more capacity or capacity control when you go to lower frequency to a higher frequency as well. So yeah, overall really happy with this York unit, but there is quite a bit to know when you're installing them. And for anyone that is going to be putting one of these in, I would highly recommend getting the more advanced technical manual, and there's a lot of really good points in there that will help you implement these systems. And in fact, we're going to be implementing a 5-ton York HMH7 unit at one of our industrial sites to retrofit an air handler to a remote condenser system to help improve the efficiency and the serviceability of the unit. So yeah, basically just need to size the evaporator coil and put a TX valve in there, and the unit will basically run itself with a call for heat and a call for cooling, and just make sure that you can have some capacity control on that fan for if you're going to run it in a heating mode. This is the indoor coil installation. I am not a residential installer, so this would be considered a hack job to many people, but it works. And when I originally hooked up the system, I removed the TX valve, and all the Mitsubishi and Fujitsu systems that I had previously worked on use the LEV for heating and cooling mode, and this is the first time in my career that I've seen a check valve system work or be implemented. So you need to actually have that reversing TX valve and then a check valve on the LEV on the outdoor unit, and then this essentially turns into your liquid line. So that's why you see this big filter dryer here, and I got the T with 2 ports to check the pressure across the filter dryer, because originally I thought there was a plugged coil or there was something going on with the evaporator. But yeah, worked through there. I got the technical manual and understand it a bit better. But this is the fan relay that they give with you, the system to control the fan speed. And on this particular furnace, it's only a 1-stage cooling application, and you need to control the fan speed. So what I did is I took the relay and ran the high voltage from the fan motor to it, and I just took the 2 terminals, the cooling and the heating terminal, jumpered them together for the 120 volts, and now the heat pump is controlling the high and low fan speed that way. So that's working very well. But yeah, very important if you're going to be running in a heating mode to give the outdoor unit the ability to turn down the fan speed, and so it can operate effectively. All right, I flipped the unit over to cooling mode here. Just wanted to give it a quick look, and operating in a bit of a low ambient environment, but 25 hertz. The unit's designed to maintain suction pressure in cooling mode. So essentially a 55-degree coil temperature is what the unit's target is, and it'll ramp based on that. Obviously the head pressure is quite low right now, 200 psi, and the unit's running very efficiently in this manner. It does have the ability to run into fairly low ambience. It's got the fan control, variable speed condenser fan. So very versatile unit. And as far as installing these systems, unfortunately we don't do residential work, but take this information and maybe make a recommendation to somebody that might be doing this type of work for you. On the industrial side, you know, we're gonna implement one of these systems for one of our accountants to do a retrofit. And as long as you have a good understanding of the system, these are the most versatile. So enjoy your guys' rest of your day, and this is a pretty damp environment for Alberta, and hopefully this gives us a nice summer.